Hello everyone, and welcome back to GS Coins, your trusted place for interesting coins, rare coin discoveries, collecting tips, and up-to-date coin values. In today's video, we are taking a close look at a modern United States quarter dollar that has already become an important part of American coin history, the 202 P Maya Angelou quarter. If you have one of these coins in your pocket, coin jar, old collection, or change, stay with me because we are going to examine its history, design, Philadelphia P mint mark, condition, mintage, and most importantly, how much this coin may actually be worth in today's market. The 2022 Maya Angelou quarter was released as the first design of the American Women Quarters Program, a major United States mint program created to honor American women and their achievements. Maya Angelou was an internationally respected poet, author, educator, and civil rights figure, and placing her on a United States quarter made this coin historically significant even though it is a modern coin. The quarter has a face value of 25 cents, but collectors know that face value is not always the whole story. The real question is whether a particular example can be worth more because of its condition, mint mark, errors, or unusually high-grade surfaces. The coin we are discussing today is the 202 P Maya Angelou quarter, where the P mint mark identifies the Philadelphia Mint. According to available coin records, approximately 237.6 million examples of the 202 P Maya Angelou quarter were produced, meaning this is not a scarce coin in ordinary circulated condition. That large mintage is one of the reasons you should not automatically believe every claim that a normal 202 P Maya Angelou quarter is worth thousands or millions of dollars. Most circulated examples are still common, and their value is generally close to their 25-cent face value. However, that does not mean you should ignore the coin. Modern coins can become interesting to collectors when they have strong grades, unusual mint errors, varieties, or exceptional preservation. Let's first talk about the design. On the obverse, you will see the familiar portrait of George Washington, while the reverse features Maya Angelou standing with her arms raised as a bird flies in front of a rising sun. The design represents freedom, hope, expression, and the power of the human spirit, making it much more than just another quarter. The reverse design was created as part of the American Women Quarters program and gives this coin a very recognizable appearance. The coin is made from the standard copper-nickel-clad composition used for modern circulating quarters, with a composition of approximately 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. It measures about 24.3 millimeters in diameter and weighs approximately 5.67 grams. Now let's talk about the P mint mark, because this is one of the most important details for anyone checking a 2022 Maya Angelou quarter. The small letter P tells us that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. If you have a 2022 Maya Angelou quarter without a P mint mark, it may be a different mint issue, while the P example is specifically the Philadelphia version. When checking your coin, use good lighting and, if possible, a magnifying glass. Look carefully around the date, lettering, portrait, rim, and especially the reverse design. A normal P mint mark alone does not make this coin rare, but identifying the correct mint can help you determine exactly which version you have. Now we come to the most important part of today's video, the value. As of 2026, a normal circulated 202 P Maya Angelou quarter is generally worth around its face value, with some market guides placing a good condition example around approximately 35 to 40 cents. Other collecting references show circulated examples around 25 cents to about $1 depending on condition and market circumstances. For a coin specifically described as good condition, you should therefore keep your expectations realistic. A typical 202 P Maya Angelou quarter in good condition is not normally a high-dollar rarity. A reasonable current estimate is roughly 35 cents, although actual buying and selling prices can vary. This means that if you find one in ordinary circulated condition, it may not make you rich, but it can still be a worthwhile coin to keep if you enjoy collecting modern United States quarters. Condition becomes much more important as we move upward on the grading scale. A coin with heavy circulation, scratches, contact marks, dull surfaces, and noticeable wear will normally have little premium over face value. On the other hand, a coin that was protected from circulation and preserved in excellent condition can attract more attention from collectors. Some current market references place uncirculated 202 P Maya Angelou examples in the range of roughly $1 to $2 for common uncirculated grades, while higher certified grades can bring substantially more. One market guide currently lists approximately $3 to $32 for MS examples depending on the exact grade, while AppMax lists higher grade examples such as Ms. 65, Ms. 66, and Ms. 67 at approximately $10, $20, and $35 respectively. These prices demonstrate something very important: condition can make a huge difference. A circulated coin and a professionally graded high-end coin may look like the same date and mint mark at first glance, but collectors can pay very different prices for them. This is why you should never clean your coin before trying to determine its value. Cleaning can damage the original surface and may actually reduce collector appeal. If your 202 P Maya Angelou quarter is dirty or worn, simply keep it safely stored rather than polishing it. Natural original surfaces are much more desirable than artificially shiny surfaces. Now let's discuss errors, because this is where many modern coin collectors become especially interested. A normal 202 P Maya Angelou quarter is common, but an authentic mint error can potentially be worth considerably more than face value. Possible things to examine include off-center strikes, double design elements, unusual die damage, missing or distorted details, striking problems, and other genuine minting abnormalities. However, you should be extremely careful with online claims about supposedly rare errors. A scratch, stain, damage from another coin, machine damage, or post-mint alteration is not automatically a valuable mint error. Real errors are created during the manufacturing process at the United States Mint, and determining authenticity can sometimes require examination by an experienced numismatist or professional grading service. Some online videos and social media posts claim enormous values for ordinary Maya Angelou quarters, sometimes mentioning thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Those claims should not be confused with the normal market value of a circulated 202p example. The ordinary coin is generally worth only face value or a modest premium, while extraordinary prices would require an extraordinary reason, such as a rare and authenticated error or an exceptionally high certified grade. So if you have a 202p Maya Angelou quarter in good condition, what should you do? First, check the date and make sure it is actually 2022. Second, confirm the P mint mark. Third, examine both sides carefully for unusual characteristics. Fourth, evaluate the condition honestly. If it has clear circulation wear, it should not be valued like an uncirculated coin. Fifth, never clean or polish it. Finally, if you believe you have a genuine major mint error or an unusually high-grade example, consider getting professional advice before selling it. Remember that coin values change over time, and prices can vary between dealers, collectors, online marketplaces, auctions, and certified examples. The current figures mentioned in this video are market estimates and should be treated as a guide rather than a guaranteed selling price. For a normal good condition 202p Maya Angelou quarter, around 35 cents is a reasonable current reference point, with many ordinary circulated examples simply trading for their 25-cent face value. The real excitement comes from finding an unusual example in your everyday change. Imagine checking a handful of quarters and discovering a coin with an authentic mint error, an unusually sharp strike, or a condition far better than the average coin. That is exactly why coin hunting remains so enjoyable. You never know what you might discover until you look closely. The Maya Angelou quarter is also historically interesting because it represents the beginning of the American Women Quarters program and honors a woman whose literary and cultural influence reached millions of people. Even if your coin is worth only 25 cents or a little more, it can still have educational and historical value as part of a modern American coin collection. So, before you spend that 202p Maya Angelou quarter, take a second look. Check the mint mark, inspect the surfaces, compare the details, and look for anything unusual. And remember, a coin does not have to be worth thousands of dollars to be worth collecting. Sometimes the history behind the coin is just as important as its price. If you enjoyed this detailed look at the 202p Maya Angelou quarter, make sure you subscribe to GS Coins, turn on notifications, and stay connected for more United States coins, rare coin values, mint marks, errors, varieties, and fascinating pieces of numismatic history. Keep checking your pocket change, keep learning about your coins, and most importantly, never overlook a coin simply because it looks ordinary. You could be holding a piece of history, and with GS Coins, we will keep searching for the stories and values hidden inside the coins we see every day. Thanks for watching GS Coins, happy coin hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Next up, we are taking a close look at a United States state quarter that many collectors have seen in pocket change, but that still has an interesting history and some details worth knowing. We are talking about the 200 P Mississippi state quarter dollar, featuring the date 1817 on the reverse and the P mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint. If you have this quarter in your collection, especially if your coin is in bad or heavily circulated condition, stay with me because we are going to examine what the 1817 date means, why the Mississippi design was selected, what the P mint mark tells us, how common this coin really is, and most importantly, what a worn 200 P Mississippi quarter may be worth in today's market. The Mississippi state quarter was released on October 15, 2002. As the 20th coin in the United States 50 state quarters program and the 5th state quarter released during 2002. Mississippi joined the United States on December 10, 1817, which explains the historic 1817 date appearing on the reverse of the coin. The United States Mint explains that the design represents Mississippi, known as the Magnolia State, and features magnolia blossoms and leaves honoring the state's official flower. So when you see the number 1817 on this quarter, remember that it is not the year the coin was made. The coin was struck in 2002, while 1817 represents the year Mississippi was admitted into the Union. This is an important detail because many new collectors see 1817 and may initially think they have discovered a very old quarter. The actual coin is a modern 2002 state quarter. On the front or obverse, you will find the familiar portrait of George Washington along with the inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and quarter dollar. On the reverse, the coin displays the beautiful magnolia design, along with the words the Magnolia State, Mississippi, 1817-2002, and E Pluribus Unum. Now let's focus on the P mint mark. The small letter P identifies the Philadelphia Mint, which produced the 200 P Mississippi state quarter. Philadelphia struck approximately 290 million examples of this particular issue, making it a common state quarter rather than a scarce regular issue. Because of this large production number, simply finding a 200 P Mississippi quarter does not automatically mean you have a rare or expensive coin. In fact, millions of these quarters entered circulation, and many can still be found today in collections, coin jars, old change, and sometimes even pocket change. But now we reach the part that matters most for today's example: condition. You mentioned that your 200 P Mississippi quarter is in bad condition, and that makes a major difference when estimating its value. A heavily circulated quarter may have scratches, dark areas, flattened details, worn lettering, contact marks, discoloration, and general surface damage. When a coin has this level of wear, collectors normally do not pay a significant premium simply because it is an older state quarter. For a worn 200 P Mississippi quarter, the realistic value is generally around its face value of 25 cents. Current market references show circulated 200 P Mississippi quarters generally around 25 cents to about $1 depending on the exact condition and market, while another current reference lists approximately 25 cents for an average circulated example. For a coin specifically described as bad or heavily worn, I would not expect a large premium. A realistic estimate is approximately 25 cents, with the possibility of a small premium only if there is something unusual about the coin. This is very different from some high-grade examples that have been preserved since the day they were struck. Modern state quarters can sometimes bring more money when they survive in exceptional uncirculated condition, especially when they receive a high professional grade. For example, current market information shows certified high-grade 200 P Mississippi quarters can sell for several dollars or more, with some extremely high certified examples listed at substantially higher prices. However, those prices should never be used to value a badly circulated coin. A heavily worn quarter and a professionally certified gem quality quarter can have dramatically different market values even though they share exactly the same year and mint mark. This is one of the most important lessons in coin collecting. Condition matters. If your coin has been circulating for more than 20 years, it is completely normal for the surface to show wear. The highest points of George Washington's portrait may appear smooth. The hair details can become weak, the lettering may show wear, and the magnolia blossoms on the reverse may lose some of their original sharpness. The rim can also show contact marks and small dents. None of these things automatically make the coin rare. In fact, they are signs that the coin has spent time in circulation. Another important point is that you should never clean a worn 200 to P Mississippi quarter in an attempt to make it look better. Cleaning, polishing, rubbing, or using chemicals can permanently damage the original surface. Even if the coin looks dirty, natural age and circulation are generally preferable to an artificially polished surface. If you want to preserve the coin, simply place it in a clean coin holder or appropriate collection album. Now let's talk about errors, because this is where a common state quarter can become much more interesting. A normal 200 to P Mississippi quarter is common, but a genuine mint error can potentially be worth more than face value. Collectors may look for things such as major off-center strikes, missing portions of the design, unusual striking problems, doubled details, wrong planchets, or other abnormalities created during the minting process. But you have to be careful, because not every strange-looking coin is an error. Scratches, dents, environmental damage, discoloration, and damage caused after the coin left the mint are not the same thing as genuine mint errors. If you believe your coin has an unusual minting problem, it is best to compare it with normal examples and, for a potentially valuable error, seek an experienced numismatist or professional grading service. The normal 200 to P Mississippi quarter is not a silver quarter. It is a copper nickel-clad circulating quarter with a standard weight of approximately 5.67 grams and a diameter of about 24.3 millimeters. This means you should not expect a worn example to have a valuable silver content simply because it is from 2002. The Philadelphia and Denver Business Strike Mississippi quarters were produced in very large quantities, with 290 million made at Philadelphia and 289.6 million at Denver. That high production explains why ordinary circulated examples remain easy to find. However, there is still a reason collectors enjoy these coins. The 50-state quarters program introduced millions of people to coin collecting, and the Mississippi quarter is an important part of that series. It represents Mississippi's statehood, its nickname the Magnolia State, and the beauty of its state flower. Even when the monetary value is only 25 cents, the historical and collecting value can still make the coin worth keeping. So if you have a 200 to P Mississippi quarter with the 1817 date and the coin is in bad condition, don't be disappointed. You probably do not have a rare fortune, but you do have a genuine piece of modern American coin history. Based on current market references, the realistic value for a badly circulated example is around 25 cents. Although better circulated examples can sometimes bring more, and high-grade certified coins can sell for several dollars or considerably more depending on the grade and market. The key is to identify the exact condition before making a value claim. If your coin is heavily worn, damaged, scratched, or dirty from circulation, keep the valuation conservative. If you discover another 200 to P Mississippi quarter that looks dramatically different, has sharp original details, or appears to have a genuine mint error, that coin deserves a much closer examination. And remember, online listings with extremely high asking prices do not automatically prove that a coin is worth that amount. Real value is based on actual market activity, condition, rarity, authentication, and what collectors are willing to pay. So before you spend your next quarter, always take a moment to check the date, the mint mark, the design, and the condition. Next up, we are taking a close look at a very popular early state quarter, the 200p Virginia State Quarter Dollar, featuring the historic date 1788. If you have this coin in your collection, coin jar, old change, or pocket, stay with me because we are going to look at its history, design, P mint mark, mintage, condition, and most importantly, how much this 200p Virginia quarter may actually be worth in today's market. The first thing you need to know is that the 1788 date on this quarter does not mean that the coin was minted in 1788. This is a modern United States quarter produced in 2000, and the year 1788 represents Virginia's statehood history. Virginia ratified the United States Constitution on June 25, 1788, and that important year is proudly displayed on the reverse of the coin. The Virginia State Quarter was officially released on October 16, 2000, as the 10th design in the 50 State Quarters program. The reverse of this beautiful quarter features 3 historic ships, the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery, representing the ships that carried English settlers to Jamestown in 1607. The design also includes the inscriptions Virginia, 1788, Jamestown 1607 to 2007, Quadricentennial, and E Pluribus Unum. The design celebrates the history of Jamestown and the approaching 400th anniversary of its founding. On the obverse, you will find the familiar portrait of George Washington along with United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and $quarter. Now let's talk about the P Mint mark, because this is one of the most important details to check on your coin. The small letter P identifies the Philadelphia Mint. The 2000 P Virginia quarter had an enormous production run of approximately 943 million coins, making it one of the highest mintage state quarters of the entire program. Because so many were produced, a normal circulated 2000 P Virginia quarter is not considered a rare coin simply because it has the P Mint mark or the 1788 date. In fact, most examples found in circulation are worth around their 25-cent face value, although better examples can sometimes bring a small premium. Current market references give circulated 2000 P Virginia quarters estimated values generally around 25 cents to $1, depending on condition and the specific market. So if you have an ordinary circulated example, don't believe claims that every 2000 Virginia quarter is automatically worth thousands or millions of dollars. The normal coin is common, and its value depends heavily on condition, rarity, and whether it has a genuine mint error or exceptional grade. For collectors, condition is one of the most important factors. A quarter that has spent years in circulation may have scratches, small dents, worn lettering, dull surfaces, and flattened details. These characteristics normally keep the value close to face value. On the other hand, a coin that was protected from circulation and preserved with sharp details can be worth more. Current references indicate that uncirculated 2000 P Virginia quarters can bring higher prices, with USA Coin Book currently estimating approximately 74 cents to $4.96 or more for uncirculated examples depending on grade. Other market references show that very high certified grades can command substantially more, but these exceptional prices apply only to coins that meet demanding professional grading standards. This is why you should always separate an ordinary circulated coin from a certified high-grade example when researching value. A coin can have exactly the same year, mint mark, and design, but have a completely different market value because one example is heavily worn while another is nearly perfect. Another important detail is the composition of this quarter. The regular 2000 P Virginia State quarter is a copper nickel-clad coin, not a silver circulation quarter. It weighs approximately 5.67 grams and measures about 24.3 millimeters in diameter. So if someone tells you that every 2000 Virginia quarter contains valuable silver, that is incorrect. Special silver-proof versions existed for collectors, but those are different from the normal Philadelphia P Mint circulation coin. Now let's talk about errors, because this is where an ordinary state quarter can potentially become much more interesting. If your 2000 P Virginia quarter has a genuine minting error, it could be worth more than a normal example. Collectors may look for major off-center strikes, broad strikes, partial colors, double details, die problems, and other abnormalities that occurred during the manufacturing process. Some references report examples of Virginia quarter striking errors that can command premiums depending on the severity and authenticity of the error. However, you need to be extremely careful when looking for errors. A scratch caused by circulation, damage from another coin, a dent, discoloration, or damage caused after the coin left the mint is not automatically a valuable mint error. A genuine error must be connected to the minting process, and valuable examples may need professional authentication. So if you believe your 2000 P Virginia quarter has something unusual, compare it carefully with a normal example before assuming that you have discovered a rare variety. Another important point is that you should never clean your quarter. Many people find an old coin, see dirt or dark marks, and immediately want to polish it so that it looks shiny and new. This can actually hurt the coin's collector appeal. Scrubbing, polishing, chemicals, or abrasive materials can leave permanent hairlines and damage the original surface. If you want to preserve your Virginia quarter, simply store it in a suitable coin holder or collection album and handle it carefully by the edges. Now let's return to the historic 1788 date. This number is one of the most interesting features of the coin because it connects a modern quarter to an important moment in American history. Virginia became the 10th state to ratify the Constitution, and the quarter uses the 1788 date to commemorate that history. The ships on the reverse also make this quarter instantly recognizable to collectors. The Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery are connected to the founding of Jamestown, and the inscription Jamestown 1607 to 2007 points toward the 400th anniversary that would be celebrated in 2007. So even though this quarter is common, it has a fascinating story behind it. When we talk about today's value, a realistic estimate for a normal circulated 2000p Virginia quarter is around 25 cents to about $1, depending on condition and buyer demand. Current new MISTA data also shows low circulated values for the 2000p issue, while its estimates rise for better preserved examples. For a normal coin found in everyday pocket change, 25 cents is the safest expectation. If your coin is especially clean and uncirculated, it may be worth more. If it is professionally certified at an exceptionally high grade, the value can increase dramatically compared with a circulated coin. And if you discover a major authenticated mint error, that can create an entirely different valuation. But remember, a high asking price on an online listing does not mean someone actually paid that amount. Real coin value comes from actual market sales, condition, certification, rarity, and collector demand. The 2000p Virginia quarter is particularly interesting because its Philadelphia mintage of 943 million makes it the highest mintage state quarter issue listed for the 2000 series and one of the most widely produced state quarters overall. That means you should not be surprised if you find several examples. Instead, the goal is to find the best preserved example or discover something genuinely unusual. So, if you have a 2000p Virginia state quarter with 1788 on the reverse, take a close look before spending it. Check the P mint mark, examine the ships and lettering, inspect the rim, look for unusual striking characteristics, and evaluate the overall condition. If it is a normal circulated example, its value will probably be close to face value. If it is an excellent uncirculated coin, the potential value is higher. And if you believe you have a genuine mint error or an exceptionally high-grade example, professional evaluation may be worthwhile. The most important lesson is that not every old-looking coin is rare, and not every 1788 date means you are holding an 18th century coin. This is a 2000 state quarter commemorating Virginia's history, and that history is what makes the coin special even when its monetary value is modest. If you enjoyed this detailed look at the 2000p Virginia state quarter dollar featuring the historic 1788 date, make sure you subscribe to GS Coins, turn on notifications, and stay with us for more United States coin values, state quarters, rare coins, mint marks, errors, varieties, and fascinating coin history. Keep checking your pocket change, keep looking through your old coin jars, and never ignore a coin just because it looks ordinary. You never know when you might discover an unusual variety or a genuine mint error. Next up, we are taking a close look at another fascinating early state quarter, the 2000p New Hampshire state quarter dollar featuring the historic date 1788. If you have this quarter in your collection, coin jar, old change, or pocket, stay with me because we are going to explore the history behind this coin, its beautiful reverse design, the meaning of the 1788 date, the importance of the P mint mark, its mintage, condition, and most importantly, how much this 2000p New Hampshire quarter may actually be worth in today's market. The first thing to understand about this coin is that the 1788 date does not mean the quarter was made in 1788. This is a modern quarter struck in the year 2000, while 1788 represents the year New Hampshire ratified the United States Constitution and became the 9th state to join the Union. The New Hampshire state quarter was released on August 7, 2000, as the 9th design in the United States 50 state quarters program. On the reverse of the coin, you will see the famous Old Man of the Mountain, a natural rock formation that became one of New Hampshire's best-known symbols. The design also includes the inscriptions New Hampshire, 1788, live free or die, Old Man of the Mountain, 2000, and E Pluribus Unum. The Old Man of the Mountain was especially important to New Hampshire's identity, although the natural formation unfortunately collapsed in May 2003. This gives the 2000 New Hampshire quarter an additional historical connection because the coin shows the famous landmark as it existed before its collapse. The reverse was designed by William Cousins, while the obverse features the familiar George Washington portrait used on the Washington quarter. Now let's talk about the P Mint mark. The small letter P identifies the Philadelphia Mint. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter had a very large production run of approximately 673,040,000 coins. This is extremely important when determining value because a large mintage means the normal 2000 P. New Hampshire quarter is not considered a rare coin simply because it has the P Mint mark or the 1788 date. In fact, millions of these quarters entered circulation, and many examples can still be found today. PCGs also describes the 2000 P New Hampshire quarter as extremely common in circulation, while higher grade examples, particularly very high mint state grades, are much more difficult to find. So if you have one of these coins, don't automatically believe that the 1788 date makes it an 18th century rarity. It is a modern 25-cent coin commemorating an important event in American history. Now let's talk about the value of this coin in today's market. For a normal circulated 2000 P New Hampshire quarter, the value is generally close to its face value. Current market references place ordinary circulated examples around approximately 25 to 40 cents, depending on the exact condition and source. NGC's current guide lists circulated 2000 P New Hampshire state quarters around 30 to 40 cents, while Numista's market-based estimates list approximately 26 cents for good condition and about 28 cents for very good condition. This means that if you have an ordinary circulated example, you should realistically expect around 25 to 40 cents rather than hundreds or thousands of dollars. Another current market source estimates an average circulated 2000 P New Hampshire quarter at around 25 cents. However, condition can make a significant difference. A quarter that has spent years in circulation may have scratches, worn details, flattened lettering, contact marks, and dull surfaces. These characteristics normally keep the value very close to face value. On the other hand, an uncirculated example with sharp details and attractive original surfaces can be worth more. Numista's current estimates put the 2000 P issue around 60 cents in about uncirculated condition and approximately $1 in uncirculated condition. Although these figures are only indications and actual prices can vary. USA Coin Book currently estimates the 2000 P New Hampshire quarter at approximately 74 cents to $4.96 or more in uncirculated mint state condition, depending on grade. Professional grading can make this situation even more interesting. Very high-grade examples can bring substantially higher prices than normal circulated coins. For example, NGC's current guide shows values increasing through higher mint state grades, with Ms. 68 examples listed at much higher levels than ordinary circulated coins. Numista's current CPG information also shows a significant increase for Ms. 68 examples compared with lower grades. This is why collectors often search through old rolls, bags, and collections looking for coins with unusually sharp strikes and nearly perfect surfaces. The difference between an ordinary circulated quarter and a high-grade certified quarter can be dramatic. But remember, the high values apply only to exceptional coins that actually meet the required professional grade. A normal circulated coin should never be valued using the price of a Ms. 67 or Ms. 68 example. Now let's take a closer look at the design because the reverse of this quarter is one of the reasons collectors enjoy it. The Old Man of the Mountain was a series of granite ledges on Cannon Mountain in New Hampshire that appeared to resemble the profile of an elderly man's face. For generations, the landmark became a symbol of the state. The words "Live Free or Die" appear prominently on the design, reflecting New Hampshire's famous state motto. The coin also includes 9 stars, representing New Hampshire's position as the 9th state to join the Union. This combination of history, geography, and symbolism makes the New Hampshire state quarter especially memorable among the 50 state quarters. Now let's discuss the physical specifications. The regular 2000 P New Hampshire quarter is a copper nickel-clad coin, not a silver circulation quarter. It weighs approximately 5.67 grams and has a diameter of about 24.3 millimeters with a reeded edge. The coin is composed of a copper core with an outer layer containing copper and nickel, which is the standard composition used for regular circulating quarters of this period. There were also special proof versions made for collectors, including silver proof examples, but those are different from the regular Philadelphia P Mint circulation quarter. So if you have a normal 2000P coin, don't assume it contains silver simply because it is part of the State Quarters series. Now let's talk about errors and varieties, because this is one of the most exciting areas of modern coin collecting. Although the normal 2000P New Hampshire quarter is common, a genuine mint error can potentially make an individual example much more interesting. Collectors may look for major off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, unusual die problems, double design elements, or other abnormalities that occur during the minting process. However, you should be very careful when identifying possible errors. A scratch, dent, discoloration, corrosion, or damage caused by another object after the coin left the mint is not automatically a valuable mint error. If your quarter looks unusual, compare it carefully with a normal example, and if the suspected error appears significant, consider getting professional advice before selling it. Another very important rule is never to clean your coin. If your 2000P New Hampshire quarter looks dirty, dark, or old, do not polish it with a cloth, metal cleaner, toothpaste, chemicals, or abrasive materials. Cleaning can create scratches and permanently alter the original surface, potentially reducing its collector value. Instead, handle the coin by its edges and store it in a proper holder or collection album. If you are searching for valuable examples, preservation is one of your biggest advantages. A coin that has been protected from circulation since May 2000 have much sharper details than one that has spent years moving through vending machines, cash registers, pockets, and coin counters. This is especially important for the New Hampshire quarter because the details around the Old Man of the Mountain can become weak with circulation. Look closely at the rock formation, the lettering, the stars, the rim, and George Washington's portrait. A coin with strong original detail and minimal marks deserves closer attention than a heavily worn example. Now let's return to the 1788 date. This number is one of the most recognizable features of the coin, but it is also one of the easiest things for new collectors to misunderstand. The date is there to commemorate New Hampshire's role in American history, not to indicate the production year. The actual production year is 2000, and the P Mint mark tells us that the coin was struck at Philadelphia. This distinction is very important when searching for coins because a title or listing that calls this an 1788 quarter can be misleading. The correct identification is the 2000P New Hampshire State Quarter with the historical date 1788, because approximately 673 million P Mint examples were produced. This is a common regular issue. So, what is the realistic value today? If you have a normal circulated 2000P New Hampshire quarter, expect approximately 25 to 40 cents in ordinary market conditions. If the coin is in better circulated condition, it may bring somewhat more, while an attractive uncirculated example can reach around $1 or several dollars depending on grade. Exceptional professionally certified examples can be worth much more, but those are the rare exceptions rather than the normal situation. The important lesson is that the date, mint mark, condition, and any genuine error must all be considered before assigning a value. A common circulated coin should not be compared with a rare high-grade certified example. And remember, online sellers can list coins for any price they want, but an asking price is not proof that the coin actually sold for that amount. Real market value depends on completed sales, condition, rarity, certification, and collector demand. The 2000P New Hampshire quarter may not be a fortune in ordinary condition, but it is still a fascinating piece of American history. It commemorates New Hampshire's admission to the Union, features the legendary Old Man of the Mountain, carries the famous motto "Live Free or Die," and forms an important part of the original 50 State Quarters collection. For many collectors, completing the entire State Quarters series is just as important as finding one extremely valuable coin. So if you have this 2000P New Hampshire State Quarter with 1788 on the reverse, take a closer look before spending it. Check the P Mint mark, examine the Old Man of the Mountain design, look at the lettering and stars, inspect the rim, and carefully judge the condition. If it is an ordinary circulated example, it is probably worth close to face value. If it is uncirculated, exceptionally well preserved, professionally graded, or has a genuine mint error, then it may deserve a closer examination. This is exactly why coin collecting is so exciting. A coin that looks ordinary at first can sometimes reveal something interesting when you know what to look for. If you enjoyed this detailed look at the 2000P New Hampshire State Quarter Dollar featuring the historic 1788 date, make sure you subscribe to GS Coins, turn on notifications, and stay connected for more United States coin values, state quarters, rare coins, mint marks, errors, varieties, and fascinating coin history. Keep checking your pocket change, keep looking through your old coin jars and collections, and never ignore a coin simply because it looks ordinary. You never know when you might discover an unusual variety or an exceptionally preserved example. Thanks for watching GS Coins, happy coin hunting, and I'll see you in the next video.